Hi guys, I'm Charlie, a Charlie Book Fanatic. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do a Top 5 Wednesday, and Top 5 Wednesday is hosted by Sam over on Thoughts on Tomes. I will link her channel as well as the Goodreads group for topics down below. The topic for today is your 5 favourite underrated books. So I picked 5 of the books I loved and I will share them with you. If you have been watching my channel for a while, you may have heard of some of these, but I still hope I can recommend some new books to you. The first book I want to talk about is Even Angels Fall by Ethel Darbyshire. This is about a girl who loses her twin brother and moves with her family to a new town. She goes to a new high school where she falls in with the wrong crowd. She starts drinking alcohol, doing drugs, and she's only 16. Her boyfriend turns out to be a drug dealer, and everyone knows it except for her, and she eventually finds out and is a bit scared because of that, but she loves this guy and is in love with him, so she accepts it and it all spirals out of control. I loved it. I loved how the characters were portrayed like normal people, like normal teenagers who have friendships, but they drink too much, they do drugs. Not all of these characters have a happy ending. This book shows the real consequences that doing drugs and being a drug dealer and participating in criminal activity can do to you. And it doesn't encourage doing drugs, but it also shows you that these characters have some kind of humanity. They are real people, and I feel like that is being forgotten most of the time. Like, these characters become their addiction or them doing drugs or them drinking alcohol all the time, but all of these characters have their own personality. They all have relationships with each other, they all know each other and love each other, and it's hard to see some of them going down as hard as they did, and I loved that about this book because I genuinely cared for these characters. The downside of this book is that it's so badly edited that it might be hard to read because it is such a thick book, but I have to say after a while I got used to it and I just flew through this book. But that might be something that turns you off of this because at first it certainly annoyed me. I still would heartily recommend you this book if this sounds interesting to you, because I love the premise and the story and the execution of it. The second book I want to talk about is Fragile by E. Francis. This is a standalone NA contemporary romance, and it features a lesbian relationship. One of the main characters also suffers from epilepsy, which is very interesting, and another one of the characters, the main character's best friend, is transgender. So there's a lot of diversity in this book, and I absolutely loved how the lesbian relationship was depicted. I felt like it was very true to life and just like a normal loving relationship should be. The third book is Bomb by Sarah Mussi, and I feel like this is particularly today so relevant. It's about a girl who gets kidnapped by these terrorists and they strap a bomb to her. She gets an earpiece stuck in her ear and she has to follow the instructions of these terrorists. She has to walk around with this bomb, so she is going to be basically the suicide bomber, and this book totally spirals out of control. It gets really fucking crazy, but I feel like especially today, I read this I think 2 years ago, but everything has spiraled out of control since then, especially with ISIS and terrorist attacks and bombings everywhere, and this is so relevant. If you haven't read this yet, I would really recommend you do this because I felt like this was really impactful and moving. Because how do you get out of this situation? Like, these people are watching you from every single angle, and you have an earpiece and you have a bomb strapped to you. You can literally do nothing because they hear everything you say. You can't ask anybody for help. And I would be so fucking scared. And I still can't believe how the main character got through this. Like, it blows my mind. The fourth book I would recommend to you is a recent release, that is Rejected Princesses by Jason Porath. This is a collection of princesses, heroines, mythical figures, all women who did crazy, amazing things, incredible things, and the author writes this with so much humor. I loved everything about it. Every single woman that's talked about in this book gets a cartoonish illustration and 2 pages of a really funny text about them. And I loved paging through this slowly and just getting to know all of these women I've never heard about. Maybe picking up a biography about them one day, because I really noted down some of these women that were particularly interesting to me. So I love this book, and I did a review on it, which we'll link down below if you want to hear about some of the women I found most interesting in this book and see if it is something you would want to pick up. And the last book I want to talk about is a book I read very, very recently, and that is In the Rose-Tainted Skies by Louise Gornall. This is a book that deals with agoraphobia and OCD. This girl, the main character, can't leave her house, and on top of that, she has OCD. So a new guy moves in next to her, and she gets into contact with him because he visits her, because he walks past her house. The delivery guy puts her groceries outside of the house, and she can't leave the house, so she can't get the groceries. Her mom was out of town, and this new neighbor guy comes up and he's like, do you need help with this? And he helps her with her groceries, and that is how they meet, and they start texting eventually. And it's all very cute. I do realize how similar this sounds to Everything Everything. I haven't read that book, but I realize how similar the premise sounds. So I don't know how similar it really is, but I think that in Everything Everything, the girl had a very weak immune system. That's not the case with this. This girl just deals with agoraphobia and OCD. And I watch a booktuber who suffers from agoraphobia, and she said this was a realistic portrayal, and she felt like she really connected with it and saw herself in it. So I think it is a good portrayal if someone with agoraphobia says it is. So these were 5 of my favorite underrated books. Let me know down below, what are some of your favorite underrated books? I would love to know. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.